Hey, what's going on? This is Mitch with Canna Solutions, and today I have some information which has been a long time coming for some of my clients that have been looking for this. But today I've got some information about branded mobile app solutions for dispensaries, brands, and more. There's several reasons to look into doing your own, to having your own app. Two of the main ones are basically the data situation. Who owns the data? You know, if you're paying for Weedmaps and Leafly and some of these others, absorbent fees per month, and you leave, then they just start sending those customers somewhere else. It's like you help them build up their platform, and then they just basically kick you out of the scene whenever you're done paying them. So that's one of the reasons. The other is that this provides you with the ability to create brand loyalty and create a patient and customer following in a way that none of the other ones do. You can also streamline some of your internal workflows and things like that. We'll get into some of that in a second, but just wanted to touch on why you might want to consider this versus some of the solutions that are available to the masses right now. I've actually been looking for this situation for a resolution to this for at least the last year and a half. One of the things that you'll find if you start digging into looking for legitimate app developers is that, well, in my experience, I met with several, stateside USA-based developers, and all the ones that I met with just dropped the ball, never got back to me. I have a client who has actually been looking for a very specific kind of app, and I've had no luck getting anybody to reply. He's been ready to pay for it. It's been a legitimate situation. Then you have on LinkedIn, I get blown up every day by people saying that they can build apps, and they're, in India and the Philippines and everywhere else. And when you're working with overseas teams like that, and you're working with the budgets that are involved to make these things happen, it's also my reputation on the line. So, I've been seeking high and low to find a legitimate situation that I can vouch for and that I feel comfortable with, because I'm not going to recommend anything to anybody else if I don't feel comfortable with it. And so this has been a great situation that's unfolded with Elite App Studios. We just happen to have crossed paths. They're making an entry into the cannabis space, and I'll talk here in a little bit about some of the things that they have going on. If I can get to the next slide. So Elite Apps, they are a app developer based in the US. They have US based development teams. They build elite custom branded applications, and they've been doing so since 2014. Who am I? My name is Mitch Smith. I work with Canna Solutions. That's a project that I started when State Question 788 passed for the cannabis industry back in 2018. In 2015, I started Fog Pusher, which is a web design and search engine optimization agency. And then in 2017, I began offering lead generation services to mortgage lenders and real estate agents. And then I basically rolled the lead generation, web design, and SEO services into one and created Canna Solutions for the cannabis industry. And now I work with dispensaries, cannabis brands, and ancillary service and product providers. This was the Fog Pusher, founded in 2015. FYI, I don't know why I didn't add the other two, but whatever. So basically, that's what I do. I've been doing this full time, and this is what I love. So that's a little bit about me. Here's some of the apps that Elite App Studios has worked on: the Vitamin Shop, Exclusive Resorts, the Club, XATP Secure Drug Verification, HyperTrack Live location tracking. You can download these apps and you can go check them out for yourself. They're definitely a legitimate developer, and they've worked on some significant projects. So here's a little overview. Elite Apps is a mobile application development firm who specializes in native iOS and Android development. We do not develop using cross-platform technologies that fail to optimize user experience. So another thing that you'll find if you start looking into this situation is that there are platforms that claim to be cross-platform app development tools. And what they say is that you can design your app for Android and iOS and it will work great on both. But the reality of the situation is that the user experience is probably the most important component of an app. And it's just not possible due to the differences between the platforms to create one cross-platform app that will work great for on both platforms. It's just not the way it works. All of the legitimate developers and all of the legitimate apps are both developed independently of each other, one for iOS and one for Android, and they develop on both, but they do not use cross-platform technologies. Their success in the mobile app development space, combined with my cannabis business development experience, creates a unique situation for cannabis dispensaries and brands looking to take advantage of the opportunity to have a custom app for their business. We pride ourselves on creating long-term partners rather than one-time customers. There are many ways that apps can be developed. We have an idea of how we'd build your app between our prior knowledge and your vision. We'd like to create the perfect app to match your business. And in talking to people from the industry and several of my clients, I've got lots of good ideas. So there's a lot of momentum and ways to use this in ways that will be beneficial to your brand and or dispensary. So there's multiple phases to this, and the reason that this is the case is because the iOS store and the Play Store do not allow for cannabis transactions. So you can't have an app that allows a person to create a shopping cart or to pick out products or do anything like that. They can't select products or anything like that. There's some workarounds though, and in phase one of this is essentially a branded mobile app, and it works with push notifications. So when I found them, they were actually already working on their prototype for the dispensary app, which solves a lot of the problems that my clients have been having that they were trying to solve with their custom app. So it's like the stars align with the situation. They were already working on something that I had identified over a year ago that was something that was necessary. And once they have that finished, which is coming here soon, it will make things a little bit easier because they can use that as the foundation to build off of. But basically, since the iOS store and the Play Store do not allow for purchases to happen, the phase one of this is basically, in most cases, will be what most people will decide to use for the to roll out the app until the regulations change. Because once the regulations change, then the Play Store and the iOS rules will change, and then I'm sure they will allow transactions to happen. I believe there's alcohol, if I'm not mistaken, apps where you can order that kind of stuff that are available there. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the regulations will eventually change. Right now, phase one of this app will basically be a thing where you use push notifications. So one idea might be to create a deal that 100 people, you say the next 100 people to claim this deal can claim it, and then it goes away. So it's a quick way to develop customer loyalty, generate sales, etc. And maybe it creates some type of scannable code that they use to collect the deal, and then that counts down from the number that are available. There's all different kinds of ways that this can be used. You can do push notifications to someone at your store to notify them whenever the patient is getting close. There's a lot of ways to use push notifications. It's way better than texting because they've agreed to download the app into your terms of service. And for a lot of people, like on my Android, I have an app that filters out spam. So I have a whole folder of text messages. Lots of dispensary text messages just go straight to my spam text folder. And I know I'm not alone in that situation. Push notifications are definitely the move because they downloaded the app, and until they remove it, the notifications will be there. They can turn off the notifications too, but this is still a better way to deliver urgent messages to your patients. And then phase 2 and 3 will be built into the original app and will be activated in accordance with the App Store and Google Play policies as soon as those change. Hypothetically, you could have these features built into the app ahead of time, but one adjustment that would have to be made, so it's kind of a balancing situation. I'm not sure how many of you have ever tried to download an app that wasn't signed. So, sometimes I mess around and download APKs from places, and in order to do it on Android, you have to basically go into your phone settings and you have to turn off the security feature that prevents you from downloading unsigned apps. And it's kind of sketchy, it's like you do it and it crosses your mind as like, is this person going to hack my phone, my bank accounts? Are they going to be, monitoring my phone use? You really don't know. These guys aren't going to be doing that, but for the end user who's looking to download your app, if it's not on the Play Store and it's not signed, it's just not only is it an extra step that they have to take, but it also is kind of a bit sketchy. So it's just kind of a situation where you'll have less people using it if you wanted to integrate the other features that prevented it from being on the iOS and the Play Store, if that makes sense. And here's those features. So phase 2 will be rewarding your customers. Essentially, all this is taking your loyalty program, whichever that is, and integrating it into the app. So patients will be able to track their loyalty points, reward program incentives, and they'll be able to do that right from the app. Any loyalty program that you're using should be able to integrate. It's a fully custom setup, and most of them have really good integrations, most of the legitimate ones, as long as you're not using like punch cards, which that might be hard to integrate. And so this allows the customers to view the rewards in the app and use them directly in the app and in the store. There's a lot of different ways to use that to make a seamless process when people check out, and we can discuss some of those ideas if the time is right to do so, if and when. Online ordering, real-time synced with POS. This will be phase 3. This allows customers to order directly in the app while also seeing the rewards as they order. They get real-time updates on customer orders and on pickup times. It allows customers to see progress of their order, and it lets customers know they will be meeting at the counter and build more meaningful relationship in your community. It could also notify your bud tender if you have like a phone at your shop. If we're talking about a dispensary app, this could be a situation where you either have somebody on your team who's been designated to receive the notifications, or you might have a phone that's at your shop that would receive order notifications for when the patient's pulling up to receive their order and pay for it. You could use this for curbside delivery. You could use this for in-store pickup. There's a variety of ideas on this. You could give an option. Lots of things you could do. And also part of phase 3 will be providing customers with past and new order information, organizing the transactions in a way that allows customers to basically track their orders and to select the location that they want to order from and all of that good stuff. So if you have multiple locations, they can, not only can they pick which locations they want to receive deal information from, but they could also just see where they're spending their money and, all that stuff. View the different live menus from each location and all that good stuff. So this is the product development approach from Elite App Studio. Step 1 is to strategize. We find out what you're looking for in a custom app. We'll build your wireframe and we'll get to work. Step 2 is to build the app. Our agency will build your app, gaining input from you during the entire process. Step 3 is to refine the app. In this stage, we'll get your feedback and make any needed adjustments. And step 4 will be to publish the app. We'll take your app through the App Store approval process and get you up and running in a brand new market. Again, this is the ideal situation that you put it on the App Store. There might be some outliers out there that just say, I don't care about the App Store, we want to go all in. And that is something that can be explored. My recommendation would be likely just due to the sheer numbers involved and building up the biggest customer base possible would be to just go with the features that allow you to get in the App Store, in the iOS store. And that way, whenever the additional features are rolled out, all of those patients will have those as well. The strategizing phase, this is where we get to know what you're looking for in an app and let you know the best ways to incorporate those features. We start by building a wireframe. This is something that every app development agency will need in order to build your app. The wireframe is basically just the layout. It's what all the pages look like. It's the process that the patients will use to sign up. It's what the backend will look like. It's basically what the actual layouts of the pages will look like, and what it looks like when you turn your phone sideways, all that good stuff. It's basically just the look and feel and functionality. It's like the starting of the functionality planning for the app. In the building phase, we basically build the app. We have a team of US developers that are there to answer any questions and concerns, with support being our #1 priority. In the refinement phase, your branded app is complete from the development side, and we have you review it, and we'll make any adjustments as needed. This is where you'll have users test it and basically make a list of, tweaks and different thoughts about basically how the app is at this point versus how you would like it to be at the end. From there, it will go to both app stores to review processes where we will sail smoothly through that process as long as you're only using the phase one and the regulations and rules are still in place. Once it's on the App Store, we will make frequent updates and bug fixes. Support is our number one priority. If there are any problems with your app, we will fix them immediately. Now, this is a generalization. This is a custom process, once again. So basically, once they have their flagship dispensary app created, which is getting closer by the day, this may be a little shorter process if you're going along that same kind of development path. If you're doing something entirely different, it might be closer to this. It could be longer if you want something that is entirely different. But this is just to give you a guideline for how the timeline may work in a average situation. First, there's the strategizing phase for the first month or so. We begin to understand what you're looking for and start to build the wireframe. Then once the wireframe is approved, we build the app and take your input to develop it, integrate all the features that you want, and basically create a working model. And then we go to the second part of the building phase, which is a long, tedious process, but our engineers will develop the best possible product for you. Anytime we're dealing with any kind of custom app development, it's a process. There's just no way around it. The only way around it actually will be once they have this flagship app, and that will at least get through the fundamentals of the functionality of the basic app, and then anything custom from there will have to be added, but that will cut out a significant amount of time out of the process. And then in the refinement phase, we will show you the app, make any changes you want, and work on any bug fixes we may need to. And then we publish it to the App Store. Once the app is complete, we will take it through the App Store review process and get your app up on the market. So here's where we get into the problems with the current solutions. Right now, dispensaries are paying $3,000 to $15,000 per month per location to have their locations and menus posted on sites and apps like Weedmaps, Leafly, Toker, etc. And it isn't resulting in a consistent customer base. It might be so long as you are paying the most amount of money for those locations in those areas, but not always. There's a lot of problems with these. For instance, on Weedmaps, let's say you've got the top listing for your dispensary on Weedmaps in Midwest City in Oklahoma. They're going to predominantly show your dispensary to everyone, but there's no incentive to go there. It's not going to be the closest place to most people who are using the app, because people are going to be all over, and in whatever area they designate, you'll be the first one there. It's not the most convenient one. There's no additional incentive being given for anyone to go there. And then when you quit paying them, then they send all those customers that you've essentially brought to their platform, and they're just going to send it to everyone else and pretend like you were never there. That's just how the nature of the beast. That's how that works. The future of service is in apps. There aren't a lot of dispensaries on the leading edge of this technological development. Our projects team is dedicated to changing this by creating lower cost branded apps designed to connect your business to loyal customers and inform them immediately of deals, business developments, and promotions. An important / the most important question to ask is who owns the data? When you work with Weedmaps, Leafly, etc., they own all the data, and as soon as you depart from their services, they will immediately begin pushing your customers to their other customers. It's just the way it works. So in a general custom app development project, the intro cost is generally, for something like this, could be anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000, plus the app will need maintenance. To maintain an app like that with developers needed and the server fees, it's going to cost generally an additional $100,000 to $150,000 per year. Server fees are super expensive. The developers that are needed to maintain it are super expensive. But due to the way that they have structured this business, depending on the features and integrations, it will basically be, for what we're talking about with the dispensary app, somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 is the cost to launch your app, and then $2,000 a month for the service package, which includes monthly updates, maintenance, server fees, and new features, which is an incredibly aggressive pricing model based on what I've seen in shopping around with some of these other places that never got back to me. But This is a situation where basically you can be up and running with your own method of attracting and maintaining your own customer base and creating loyalty in a different way than everyone else. Soon there will be a lot of dispensaries that will be on this that will be on this thought process, but right now you'll be ahead of the game. And that's pretty much it. We look forward to working with you. My cell phone number, I thought I had it typed on this one, but it must have been the other one. Well, I'll put my contact information below. If you're seeing this on YouTube, I'll put a link to contact below the video. If you're seeing it on Facebook, I'll include it in the post. And if you're seeing it on email, then it will be in the email. And yeah, basically the team working together, we should be able to create something really awesome for you. And I'm looking forward to discussing your ideas and seeing what we can come up with. We will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.